The next song we're about to play for you is entitled Ha, which is named after a kiai, or using our energy, our spirit to play these taiko, because they take a lot of spirit and a lot of strength and a lot of energy to play. So please enjoy Ha.
I think maybe the credential that I might have to be speaking before you today is that once upon a time, I planted corn on top of a nuclear missile silo site, and that earned me 1 year in maximum security prison. But I think if I had heard Hideko speak earlier today, I might have peeled off and gone to thermonuclear missile silo site and planted, maybe not corn, there's enough of that, but planted something to say that land was not meant to harbor weapons of mass destruction. And yet we allow our land, our air, our seas to still harbor weapons that are aimed at our neighbors worldwide. And so one of the things my guide and mentor, Dan Handelman, suggested I might do with my time before you is suggest some of the things we can do. And I know that that's very paramount in all of our minds, but I'd like to suggest one thing. There's a fine film some people watched at the Vets for Peace conference called The Forgotten Bomb. Let's not let that bomb be forgotten. You know the schools aren't including it in the academic curricula. So www.forgottenbomb.com. Join with your neighbors and watch that film. It's hard, but it's ever so important. I was in Pakistan and met with somebody from a small village of 500 people. The village was called Mysore. And I met with this man who took at some risk to himself a long trip. He went overland by bus, on foot, and came because we wanted to know what had happened to him and his village when a United States drone attacked their village. And I want you to know that since time immemorial for these villagers, if somebody knocks at your door, it's not a discussion, it's not a question. You open the door and you give hospitality to the stranger. But as it had happened, the knock on the door was coming from someone who'd been labeled a high-value target by a United States drone kill team. And so the strangers had been given hospitality and they were long gone. And it was 4:30 in the morning when a United States drone, a robotized vehicle, guided by a pilot in Creech Air Force Base in Nevada, had the instructions kill, and 2 Hellfire missiles blasted into that tiny village home in Mysore in Pakistan, and 3 of the village elders were killed. And I asked the man, can you at all imagine that if people from my country were to come to your village and just wanted to sit down and talk, that they'd be welcomed in? And the man looked at me like I was off my rocker. He said, Madame Kathy, who would be so crazy as to not to want the peace? Of course you could come. Just you must leave your weapons aside. Just you must leave your weapons aside. It's a tall order for us, isn't it? But as I think about the neighborliness so needed, and Jean, thank you for reminding us of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's speech that also issues that call for neighborliness that goes beyond family, race, creed, tribe, or nation state. Let's hear a Turkish poet's words as he imagined a little girl of Hiroshima. I come and stand at every door, but none can hear my silent tread. I knock and yet remain unseen, for I am dead, for I am dead. I'm only 7, although I died in Hiroshima long ago. I'm 7 now, as I was then. When children die, they do not grow. My hair was scorched by swirling flames. My eyes grew dim, my eyes grew blind. Death came and turned my bones to dust, and that was scattered on the wind. I need no fruit, I need no rice, I need no sweets, nor even bread. I ask for nothing for myself, for I am dead, for I am dead. All that I ask is that for peace you fight for peace, you fight today, so that the children of our world can live and grow and laugh and play. Let us hear those children of the future knocking at our door. Let us be for them. No more weapon proliferation. No more nuclear weapon proliferation. Stop the sinning. No more drone proliferation. Stop the sinning. Reclaim our innocence, our neighborliness, our commitment to those children who are knocking at our door, and how grateful we are for every one of them in every part of our world. The Afghan youngsters gave us these blue scarves. And I said, why did you pick the color turquoise blue? And young Shaharbano said, no, Madame Kathy, it is sky blue, because you see there is one blue sky above us. And that's the truth.
And recently I had the honor of sharing an amazing experience with 87 brothers and sisters as we traveled to northeastern Japan on the flight of friendship led by my friends Sho and Lowendizono. We went there to help for, as you probably have heard by now, on March 11th, 2011, a magnitude 9.0 earthquake occurred just off the coast of northeastern Japan. The earthquake was so powerful that it shifted the earth on its axis. The earthquake also generated a series of tsunami waves towards the Japanese coastline, but it was for just such an eventuality that the Japanese had extensively trained and prepared. The coastline was even fortified with man-made seawalls. Take, for example, a section of the coastline just 140 miles north of Tokyo, where a 15-foot seawall protected the reactors of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. 47 minutes after the earthquake, those 15-foot fortifications disappeared below a 47-foot tidal wave. And that's when, with respect to the situation at Fukushima, things started to go wrong. But let me quickly take you back to what me and my flight of friendship comrades recently witnessed with our own eyes. 8 weeks ago, our group slogged through piles of mud in Ishinomaki and Kesanuma, Japan, finding a common bond in pulling Anpanmon storybooks, silverware, tatami mats, and squid from piles of foul-smelling, slime-ridden, rotting mud, a mud that lent a particular stench to the atmosphere and is still present on both my boots and in my mind every time I close my eyes and remember standing there. To capture some of the emotions, my friends and I penned some haiku, which is a traditional method of Japanese poetry, and I'd like to share one with you right now. Earthquake, tsunami, sight and smell I can't forget, I am not the same. We stood in the midst of a surreal devastation. Take pictures of the bay town of Rikuzen Takata, another town we visited just north of Sendai, and compare those pictures side by side with photos of Hiroshima's ground zero. In Hiroshima, one lone building was left standing amidst what was once a bustling city center, while in Rikuzen Takata, one lone pine stood where a forest once dominated the skyline. I paint this picture to state a simple case. Why complicate things more when we can't even protect against the natural disasters of floods, tornadoes, droughts, hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis that already cover this planet? No doubt, Japan has already come far